What's up, y'all, and welcome to the Aging Potheads. I am Big Brother Boss, aka the Funky Monk, and with me, as always, is the beautiful Miss Candy. How are you?
Hi, y'all. I'm good. I'm all right.
All right,
Yeah,
right on. Looking good as always. Now,
yeah, I
y'all,
got on my horror red today. Horror
exactly.
red.
Yes. Now, y'all, take the time to go ahead and share this out to your friends. Grab your smoking device or your favorite smoke or your blunt, whatever you are smoking, because right now, y'all, it is time for the blaze, okay? Let's go ahead and blaze up.
Yes, yes.
Damn, fan?
The lighter ain't working. You got the
It's
fan
working.
on.
I got the fan on.
Fan fucking up your whole little wee wop.
For real. Man. Today, y'all, I am. And what y'all smoking on? Where you watching this from? I am smoking on today my favorite strain. My favorite strain ever. It is there it is. It's Jack Herrera, y'all. It's Jack Herrera.
There you go.
Favorite strain, sativa strain, classic legendary strain.
Old school.
Yeah, it's an old school strain. One of the first one of the first name strains. Let's put it like that. Now, Jack Herrera is sativa dominant, named after an author and activist, Jack Herrera. It is uplifting and energizing and very, very good for daytime use. Um, it was one of the first strains. It's something that I smoke that won't get me um, too wonky. It's just enough to sit around and chill and kick it all day. Jack Herrera, fantastic. I can't even say much. Every time I see it, I'm going to buy it.
Mhm.
Every time I see it, I can buy it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting something to drink here. you know.
Something to drink. I wish Bunny was here and give me something to drink. No.
Hey, when we move and we get it, when we move and I build out the studio, we'll be there. You can come in also.
Okay.
And Jack Herrera being Jack Herrera, y'all, it always is going to get where's my 420 review? It's always gonna get 5 blunts on me. It's always gonna get 5 blunts. Jack Herrera is consistent pretty much every time I get it, no matter who farms it, no matter where it's from. It's pretty consistent and gives me the same high. Those who are like experienced smokers might not feel this high, but if you're a sativa head, like my folks are, like some of my folks are, it's gonna hit hard every time. What's up, Tony? What's good, man?
Hey,
Thank
Tony.
you for joining us. Yeah, but Jack Herrera, that's legendary strain, y'all, and I I suggest it for any level of smoker. Any level of smoker, you definitely got that Jack Herrera. Keep Jack Herrera on deck. Um, when I moved, y'all, I'm gonna show y'all my shelf of weed that I keep in jars, so I know what I want to smoke today.
All right, so I need to come over there and shop. That's what y'all
Yeah.
saying.
So, and Candy and I were talking about this earlier about how sometimes we got sometimes weed it's not plentifully available. Money wise, things money might be funny and things like that. So
you got your priorities, your bills,
got your priorities. So do you folks, and I'm gonna say this and make it in the comments, do you folks keep your roaches for the times where you gotta struggle? Do you keep something around? I have what I call a change jar, and I would get it, but it's not within reach. I'd have to get off frame. But I have what I call a change jar. And when you roll up, there's always that little bit of weed still on the table. I just scoop that into the jar off the tray or off the table wherever I was rolling. And yeah, there you go. See? In that jar, Oh yeah, you got to put that there. If y'all want that tray, hit us up. We got them trays for
Still got them
$30.
trays. Still got them trays trying to,
Got them trays for $30.
y'all ain't putting
So
the order in. I can't make no call to my homegirl to make some more.
yeah,
Like
see, that's why we sitting up here talking about smoking roaches. Y'all not buying the merch.
y'all ain't buying it. Like what
But
y'all
yeah,
about to do?
most definitely. Let us know in the comments what do you do when you run out of weed. Do you keep your roaches? I myself, I don't keep the roaches. I pretty much just go through my change jar, and it's a suicide mix. So whatever high I'm gonna get. It's just what it's gonna be.
That's what we doing right now.
Yes.
I
Now,
put
yeah.
mine in shake, so
Mm-hmm.
it's a
And you know what,
suicide
Tony?
mix with all kind of weed.
Tony, we gonna stop by to sign that tray for you, man. We gonna stop by to sign that tray for you.
Yeah.
420 is coming up, y'all. So definitely, when you see us out in the street, say hey. 420 is coming up. Too bad our show is gonna be on 419, but hey, we still gonna have a pre 420 show for y'all.
We celebrate the day before.
yeah,
When most years we probably celebrate the day before. Yeah.
exactly. Now, Miss Candy says she is smoking on Shake. Shake is a hybrid, y'all. Let's be clear. It's a hybrid. When you normally have Shake, if you get it from a dispensary, it's normally all the shavings and clippings and things that are left back from the processing of your flower. Now you
Right.
get like these nice big buds in the bag, but they sort of shape those buds, So there's a lot of trimmings left over, and that's what we call shake. Shake is very good. It can be smoked. Don't call it
Don't
struggle weed.
panic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it smokes. It all smokes, and also it makes very good. It makes very good edibles. So those who are looking for edibles and think that they need to buying an ounce of, say, like a branded, of an actual strain cost a lot. You can get you an ounce of shake
Really cheap.
fairly
Really
fairly cheap. And remember, folks, all you're getting is the THC out of it. Don't even worry about the strain. Trust me, when you make brownies, you're just getting the THC out of it. So
Make your
definitely, let us know what you're smoking on. And trust me, Candy, I done had some shake that had me on the flow. You know what I mean?
You see, I didn't even rate it because, like, I know how, because it's a bunch of different things. So,
Mhm.
like, right now, I feel pretty good. I'm not too gone, but I had a little sip too, so I might be a
Mhm.
little bit stout.
Mhm.
Um, but just it's been a couple days, so it hasn't had me
You know what?
very high,
Yeah,
but
you know what, Tony?
it's got me in a good place.
Yeah, you know what, Tony? Yes. If we ain't got shit to do on 420, yeah, you can join us too. There's a couple of events here, a
Let's
couple of
go
grown
live.
and yep, couple of grown and sexy events coming up. Shit, that might be the perfect time to go out on Tony's porch because the weather getting better. Yeah, we
Yeah,
got yep. Kick it off from Tony's porch.
we can go
But yeah,
live and see,
I
interact
can
with the
see
people.
why I can see why you didn't rate it though. I can see that because sometimes when you got shake, it depends on your mood to how it affects you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't rate it because like I said, I felt like right now,
Mm-hmm.
it's not shake it surprise
Mm-hmm.
you. Basically, you don't know how you're gonna feel on it, depending on you just know it's a conglomerate of different
Mm-hmm.
weeds, and
Yes.
like if sometimes you can definitely purchase shake, as
Mm-hmm.
Bob said before, and it's just basically a bunch of different other weeds that
Yes.
that they can't sell because
Mm-hmm.
it's not enough to make an actual purchase of. So they just put it all in this one thing, and so that's why it's not as much as if you buy maybe
Mm-hmm.
a branded weed. But it still will get you there, if you, especially if you're a light smoker, like
Mm-hmm.
it'll definitely you high. You can cook
Yeah.
with it, as Bob said. You can make a wheat butter out of it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
make you some brownies, make you some
Yeah.
chicken. You know, like
Exactly.
all you need really is the butter and the THC
Mm-hmm.
out of it. So you can use it for other things. It's
Exactly.
really good with
And
edibles.
yeah, and trust me, y'all, if when it comes to edibles, hit me up, Funky Monk at agingpotheads.com. Um,
Hmm.
I can show you how to make the edibles. I'm not one of those people who like want to sell you a whole fucking ebook. I'm gonna show you how to do it. I'm gonna tell you how to
Yeah,
do it. And it's
you're not
I
trying to
have
get
I
money
have
from
different I have different levels for budget. So I can do it budget friendly, or if you got some money, I can show you how to do it that way too. So definitely y'all hit me up if y'all want to learn how to do that. I've been thinking about classes, but I will have to charge you for the classes. Gotta charge you for my time.
your time. That's it. That's all you got is your time. You know, like we don't be trying to get over
Exactly.
or nothing like that. We know people got stuff they got to take care of. So.
Exactly. Now before we get into the cool dumb shit, y'all, that we normally talk about, once again, there has been another fucking shooting in Louisville, Kentucky, um, a week after another shooting in their neighbor Tennessee. They are neighbors, right?
Kentucky.
Yeah. If my
I
geography is right, I
know.
believe.
I know Mississippi and Tennessee are right above each other, but I
Mhm.
don't know what's north of
And I
Tennessee.
think
So that
Kentucky is right
might be
above them.
Kentucky. Yeah, I think Kentucky is or Indiana or one of them. I don't know.
Let
I
me
don't know.
see, y'all.
California.
I'm going to my map.
I don't give a
Yes,
shit about nothing of that. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, they are neighbors. They are neighbors.
Yeah, they're neighbors.
Kentucky is north of Tennessee, so yes, they are neighbors. Um, and rest in peace to all the victims. Once again, it's a
Yeah.
lone gunman who was who was killed in a shootout. In this case, the guy waited for the police to come. He streamed this all live on Instagram, which is what most of these shooters are doing nowadays. Um, I just really, um, I'm really upset, and I'm not going to talk about it because I'm tired of talking about the shit. Um, but I will. It will lead us in. Yeah, Tony. Yeah, we did say it's right above it. Yeah, it's right above it. Um,
So one thing that I wanted to say before you do segue, boss, is that what I read about it was the guy was worked at the bank. He was
mm-hmm,
basically a disgruntled worker. He got let go
mm-hmm,
and went up there and killed 5 people. Um, and
mm-hmm.
at this point when I saw it, I just looked at it and was like, okay, like I'm getting numb to the shit at this point.
And I hate
And
that I'm getting numb to
I
it too.
hate that exactly. I hate that
Mhm,
because it could happen to anybody that we know.
mhm,
Um, just people are just out living in their normal lives,
mhm,
and things like this happen, and I just think that it sucks. I just pray, like I just feel like this at this point as a country, we're just like just losing things to live for.
mhm,
People are everything's high, money, rent's high,
mhm.
food's high.
And
You know,
Tony, you're
losing.
right. I saw that. I did hear that his parents did thank the police for killing their son in the name of saving lives. They knew
Really?
their son, yeah, they knew their son had mental issues. And I'm gonna tell y'all this, y'all, because this is who I am. If one of my relatives went shooting and went on and was an assailant in one of these shootings, I would want them if
To be
if they
disabled.
wanted to fight it out with the police. I I'm not gonna be mad that you shot him, whether they had mental issues or not. If
I
this
would too.
guy, if this person shot up a whole bunch of people, you got to take him out because either you are or I am. Because as that person's family member, I feel it'd be my duty to make sure that person be held accountable, and whether they go to jail or whether they have to be taken out. That's where I am with these things. I'm glad that rest in peace to all those involved, including his parents, because they still lost a
Yeah,
son. You
they
know,
did.
you know,
And
their
it
son
could
is
have
a
been.
piece of shit. Your son is a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I
It-
do
it-
I do I I'm sorry for your loss of that piece of shit. And
yeah.
and in keeping with the shootings, when the Tennessee shooting went off, a couple of days later, a protest was at the Tennessee State House, and
Mhm.
three lawmakers had wanted to stand up for their constituents, and
Mhm.
they call them the Tennessee Three. It was Justin Davis, Justin Jones, and the woman I could not remember her name offhand. Um,
Somebody named Pearson, I think.
yeah,
I think one of the Justins was Pierce. I can't remember, but somebody named Pearson. And
it's Justin Jones.
I,
Let's
I
see here.
I can't remember, but that's beside the point. You
Yeah,
know.
that's aside the point. There were three Tennessee lawmakers, and they protested with their folks. And what occurred here was the following day, they were called to the carpet to be expelled from the Tennessee State Congress or State Senate. And it was two it was two black gentlemen and a white woman. And when it came last Wednesday, there was a vote, and they voted to keep the white woman while the two other men were expelled from the Tennessee Senate. Now, one of those men, Justin Jones, he represented Nashville in the county that Nashville is in. So, in that, Nashville has a council that can fill the seat until a special election is held. So,
Yeah.
they voted unanimously to reinstate Justin Jones. He was sworn in. I want to say it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. He was
It was
sworn in.
yesterday.
He was sworn in immediately by the woman who did not get expelled. Um, and one thing about that, the woman who didn't get expelled, before I get into it, she held her held her thing. She knew that she got kept because she was white. And she didn't stray from that. And she mentioned it every time she was asked about it. And like I said, I can't remember her name, but I do appreciate that. Because some women just be quiet. And some people just be quiet and go on about their business. Like, I don't want to do that. But I am happy that Justin Jones has been reinstated and starting to do the work that he had been doing. So let's hurry up and wait for the other Justin to go ahead and get his thing. And that
So
there's some politics behind that. Go ahead.
so today, actually, the other Justin was reinstated back into the Tennessee State or Nashville Tennessee State representative. As boss said, that both of these young men, shortly after that happened, when they
Mm-hmm.
started talking about gun control, they were expelled.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a unanimous vote to bring them back. Everybody voted to bring them back. And today, I saw earlier that the other Justin was reinstated back. So kudos to them. But it just does speak to the, how people don't, states like Tennessee, a lot of those red states, a lot of those states who voted for slavery, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
those states still hold on to those
Yeah.
values that they have, and they very much love their guns.
Yeah.
They don't, they feel like they have a right to bear arms, and
Mm-hmm.
but y'all worried about, uh,
Trans
they're
reading hour.
yeah, or trans, their kids, like they voted down something about kids dressing in drag, or they wanted to
Yeah.
outlaw drag parties
Mm-hmm.
or things like that. And like
Yeah.
y'all worried about the wrong shit.
Yeah.
Like
Y'all are.
y'all worried about the wrong things. Like these
Yeah.
people are every day or every
Mm-hmm.
other week we hear about a mass shooting. Like, and at this point you hear about it so much that you just become numb to it. Like you
Mm-hmm.
don't, you know, you every this week. the Louisville, the week prior Nashville. It's like, you guys are worried about guns, and yes, you should be able to, I guess, be able to have the right to protect yourself. But
Yeah.
the guns that these people get access to, or the parts that they get, because that's really what the issue is. It's not you can't just go buy an AR-15. Like you have to get the parts to be able to build that. If you're not any military, if you're not any sort of law enforcement.
Oh, they sell them. They sell them straight up in the assault. They sell them assembled.
Yeah. Well, so gun, those kind of countries that purport, well, it's not the gun that kills the person, it's the person that kills the person. But you're enacting legislation to have these kinds of people, and you're not doing the correct background check on these people. You're not, you're just selling these guns all willy-nilly to people that really have issues, and they shouldn't have guns.
Some people will slip through the cracks.
You get one who doesn't, like
some people will slip through the cracks. Don't get me wrong. Some will slip through the cracks. But my thing is, I believe there should be, they say criminals will always get guns. A lot of criminals buy stolen guns. They do. Right. But the thing is, if there are laws in certain states where they say you got to lock your gun up, so the chances of it getting stolen, so it ends up on the street, are minimized. You know what I mean? Not saying you shouldn't have a gun. I'm saying that when it comes to
LA, I would have been had one. Like, I mean, that's
my thing is there should be a waiting period with the background check. Sometimes they say it takes 2 business days. Sometimes it comes back in 15 minutes, depending on what state you're in. But when you have somebody, let's have, some people, like I said, some people will slip through the cracks, but other people, if they might say, yeah, I'm going to shoot up the whole job, but then they realize they got to wait 5 days to get a gun. And then they might start going to the wrong people trying to get the guns. You know what I mean? If they're going to do it, they're going to do it. But there still should be laws in place that just common sense, not saying it, but just slowing down the flow of getting the guns into the wrong hands, or possibly the wrong hands. So definitely, y'all, our thoughts and prayers are with those. Congratulations to both Justins. I am glad you are there. And one more thing before we get out, for those who didn't know about these 2 gentlemen last week, you folks, and in doing what you did, gave these guys a platform. Yeah. You gave these guys a platform. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So yeah, you gave these guys a platform, and I'm glad you did, because I like these brothers. They're young, and they ready for it. They're ready for it, and they're here for it, and they represent their communities well from what I've been reading about them outside of this issue. But definitely, y'all, let us know what you think about it. And with that, y'all, I'm gonna move on. And another hot topic this week, y'all. Hulu, in all their infinite wisdom, has decided that they wanted to produce a Freaknik documentary.
This
now,
all
those who don't know what Freaknik is back in the mid 80s to early 90s, there was a festival or a gathering in Atlanta, mostly attended by historically Black colleges or universities, HBCUs, and they would all come to Atlanta. It was normally in the springtime, and they would come down there. There'd be a whole lot of shit going on. Don't get me wrong. There'd be a whole lot of shit, whole lot of freaky, kinky shit going on in Atlanta. Those who have probably already looked it up already, there was women dancing outside. There was live sex acts going on in the streets.
A lot of y'all mamas and daddies was out there.
A lot of y'all mamas and daddies was out there. So everybody started at that point. They wanted to come for Gen X. Gen X, normally, we minding our own fucking business, y'all. We minding our own fucking business.
All of a sudden.
Couple of things I want to clarify. Number one, and most importantly, I am not pressed if you see me in these videos. Now, If you
Okay.
see it, it is what it is. All right, it is what it is. So most definitely, most Gen Xers who are there are not pressed at all with you motherfuckers. Not at all.
Everybody was young. It was like Woodstock, like back in
Yes.
the 60s. Everybody was.
Two, I feel some of you millennials, some of these millennials are upset because y'all can't take Freaknik from Gen X. Because a lot of y'all millennials was only like 15 and 16 years old. And Candy and I will get to that point later about that. And always, y'all, some of y'all millennials also think that there were boomers there. There wasn't a lot of boomers at Freaknik, y'all. Because
Too
y'all
old.
thinking y'all thinking that y'all think y'all gonna see your grannies, Miss Mabel and Sister Shirley out there. Nah. These
This
were
your mama, your daddy.
yeah, this is your mom and your daddy. And since you had Mabel and Shirley, so we talking about Leon, Tyrone.
Some of y'all might be grandparents though. Some of y'all are grandparents now.
Yeah, a lot of folks at Freaknik are grandparents now. Let's be
Yeah.
clear, they are. But
You
I'm gonna
might
tell
see
you,
granny up there.
it was a fun time. It introduced Grown and Sexy, which you millennials took again. Grown and Sexy came from Freaknik. Grown and Sexy came from what? I mean, because y'all they just talking about Atlanta. Let's be clear, folks. It was Atlanta. It was Galveston. It was
It's
Daytona.
Essence Festival now.
It was
That's
Virginia
different.
Beach. And now the same people at Freaknik, y'all, go to the Essence Festival on July 4th weekend. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's just
Because
freaking grown up, grown and sexy freaking. That's it.
yes. So when the documentary comes out, y'all go ahead and watch it. Y'all go ahead and try to copy it. But trust me, Freaknik, you will not be able to duplicate because y'all got to understand, and I'm going to say this with my whole chest, Gen X ran the 90s. Y'all
Yep.
millennials just have memories of what you thought the 90s was like, but y'all was too young to realize that the 90s was lit. And I would say for almost every generation.
First of all, I'm gonna need you to differentiate which millennials you're talking about because I'm technically a millennial. I
Mm-hmm.
was a kid in the 90s. I was very much a child. When Freaknik was popping 96, 90, all of
Mm-hmm.
that. I was 12 in 96. So, of course,
Uh-huh.
I was too young for that. But I
Mm-hmm.
very much, heard a lot of, the
Mm-hmm.
things that happened and seeing now they coming out with a documentary about a lot of, we are talking about the light side of that
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Yes.
But there has been, the ugly underbelly of that too,
Mm-hmm.
that's been exposed
Mm-hmm.
about a lot of this rape, the underlying rape culture, grape culture. I
Mm-hmm.
want to say that
Well,
because
this ain't TikTok, so it don't matter. We
yeah,
live.
yeah, or, the sexual assault that happened
Mm-hmm.
a lot too. So there's naturally um, some things that can come out that can be exposed naturally. Um, and I feel like every generation has their thing. Talking about Woodstock,
Mm-hmm.
back in the 60s and 70s, and the 80s and 90s, we had Freaknik, which was
Yes.
primarily African American, um, a college fraternity sorority culture.
Yes.
Um, but not everybody was a part of that. Not everybody that went to Freaknik didn't go to
Mm-hmm.
HBCU. They were
Yeah.
down and hang out and
Yeah. They was down there with
be among
down
the
there to be
people.
part
Yeah,
of something.
and
And
not everybody was over an adult.
yes,
So
exactly.
um, you kind of have that. I can kind of see where a lot there's a portion of Gen X that might be a little afraid
Mm-hmm.
about
Yeah.
what's coming out. There's
Mm-hmm.
a guy on one of the blogs that I follow that's in his letters talking about, well, if you a freak Nick and you out here dressed a certain way, you just gonna have to accept that, this is gonna happen to you, or you gonna be touched, or you gonna be possibly, you know, sexually
Mm-hmm.
assaulted if you're, passed out, and we're not gonna act like that
Mm-hmm.
didn't happen. We're
No, and
not.
I'm not gonna act like I didn't happen. I'm not gonna act like I didn't see it either.
Yeah,
And
or a lot of these girls went down there, for that, and they might have been dressed a certain way, or what have you, but
and also
you know,
understand when I was 22, I didn't know that touching was sexual assault. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And I'm not saying it. I'm not
a
saying it
lot
was
of them
right. Let's
did.
be clear. I'm not saying it was right just because it was an ignorance to it. But when we hear about sexual assault, we always think about rape. We don't think about unconsensual touch. We don't think about that.
Right.
And
If you touch
yeah,
me and I don't like the way you touch me, you could have
yeah,
touched me on my shoulder, and I might not want to touch me, and I
yeah,
felt triggered because
yeah.
or what happened. I could say
Mhm.
that you assaulted me. You
Yeah, and why and why we make jokes? And I'm admit I made jokes about Freaknik. After hearing about certain people were sweating it, and no, until up until our production meeting, I didn't really think about the dark side of it. The side that some of these some people, mostly women, will be triggered because certain things happened there that they wanted to probably keep there. And
forget. Yeah.
I hope the documentary does cover a little bit of that or some of that, because it's still something that's prevalent today. It's still part of the frat and sorority. Um, it's still part of the frat and
Lifestyle.
sorority lifestyle, and we're not just talking about just historically black colleges either, because
Any college.
you know
Any.
on Freaknik, there's Cabo, there's Cancun, and here in the States we got Lake Havasu, where all the frat things. There's a big frat party here in Vegas every year. I don't know what it's called, but hey, we know this. I know the stuff that goes on there too because my job. I listen a lot. I hear a lot. So it's a lot of things now that were still wrong, but more acceptable back then. All right. I'm not when I say more acceptable, that doesn't mean that it's still that it was right. I'm just saying that a lot of people didn't see it as much because they were still in this whole if you dress a certain way or in a certain place, you should expect that. Now, expecting it and it happening, two separate things, y'all. You know what I mean? You know, I can't go into a strip club and grab a stripper's titties. You know what I
Without
mean? Without asking. I ask for consent for everything. I always say please and thank you. And like Tony just said, everybody's personal space should be respected. You know
always.
what I mean? We should be
Even
out
if
here
you
respect.
did it,
Mm-hmm.
like, and when me and Boss were talking before the show, I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, about, I know everybody focuses on the women when this happened, and I would just like for, men have to protect themselves too.
Yes.
Like you probably didn't have no intention, or this probably didn't even happen. You just meet the wrong girl,
Mm-hmm.
and or she, you know, is okay with everything or seemingly okay with everything, and then wake up tomorrow and it be a whole different story because she
Yeah.
was raped or what have you.
Yeah.
So, you know,
You know,
just
and
because.
people joke about it. Sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to sign this paper saying, you know, you down with the get down. Um, but yes, y'all, it's I didn't see the dark side of it. Probably because I'm a man. Don't get me wrong. Probably because I'm a man. And I'll admit that to y'all because it's what it is. You know what I
It's
mean?
good that you
There are
can
certain
see that.
things I've done, but I can tell you in my life, yes, I've touched some titties without consent. I have. You know, however, growing up in California, consent we started our consent culture a little earlier than most folks. You know what I mean? We learned that no means no. If y'all haven't seen the Players Club, it's mentioned there too. No means no, but it still happened. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna sit here and say it was right, regardless if it was 30 years ago or now.
Mhm.
Consent is um, consent is consent. You know what I mean? And
Actually, y'all's protection too. Like some, I'm not. You're not gonna
exactly.
have some of these women be
Mhm.
out here playing. lying on men and getting them in a position, or we just saw not too
Mhm.
long ago what happened with Chris Brown, and
Mhm.
the text messages is what saved
Uh-huh.
him. His inbox is what
Yes.
saved. If he didn't have those messages showing that this
Mhm.
woman was doing this,
Mhm.
or she was,
Mhm.
the one that was, feeling like, he did what he
Yes.
y'all had y'all relations and he sent you on, and you thought it was more
Yes.
than that, and
Exactly.
because so then she tried to say he raped her,
Yeah.
and because of those texts that saved him. So that's for y'all's
Exactly.
protection too,
And with
like.
well, Tony had mentioned that when y'all first met up, he asked if he could hug you. It does it every time. So I mean,
Mhm.
it's not hard, y'all. It's not hard every time. Even though that person might say yes, ask. It's still part of it. But I did not. I want to thank Candy for bringing that part of it into it, because I was just going to let in on just being funny about it and how we're not pressed. And those people, but there are those people who were affected by certain dark things that went on at Freaknik. And let's just be clear: every college gathering, it goes on. We hear at least 2 or 3 stories of it a year, maybe more, depending on where you live. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Speaking of colleges, y'all, LSU did accept. The LSU ladies did accept the White House invitation. For those naysayers or them assholes who really aren't really basketball fans, who said that they flip flopped, they did not flip flop. They said and they were very clear, not just Angel White, right? Is that her
Yeah.
name? Okay,
Angel Renee, I think is her
yeah.
name. But Angel White, I believe, is her last name.
Mhm.
She did
She
say
didn't
that.
flip flop. She just said that if they invited both teams, LSU would not be going.
Yeah.
And the White House never really officially said that. That was something that Joe Biden said off the cuff. It was just a hot shot she had made, and it blew up. But now LSU was accepting it. Folks are still saying, "Oh, so now you want to go?" Let's stop that, y'all. Let's stop that. Circumstances change. Keep your straw hat arguments to yourself. Argue with your mama.
That, and Angel is a young girl. She's competitive, and
Mm-hmm.
she's the a lot of times you
Mm-hmm.
say things, and I understand
Mm-hmm.
why she said what she said, because she was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, she's
Well,
looking at it,
yeah.
a
Caitlin,
certain way, but there's no I in team,
yeah.
and she, just
Mm-hmm.
because she said we ain't going, don't mean the team said,
Yeah.
and
I
I
know
think that
exactly.
she recognized that,
Exactly.
like, I'm a team player,
Mm-hmm.
she realized I can't make that decision for the team
Yes.
because it might be some people that do want to go,
Mm-hmm.
you never know, but I
Mm-hmm.
think, she just kind of spoke a little presumptuously, and I just feel like that was just
Mm-hmm.
the emotions of what was going on at the
Mm-hmm.
time, and it did look
Mm-hmm.
funny for people to
Yeah.
invite both teams,
Mm-hmm.
when that's never happened before. It did look like he was trying to, you know,
Mm-hmm. Now,
uh,
and Caitlin Clark got up there and said,
participate in the word.
yeah,
So
yeah. Caitlin Clark got up there and said that she didn't care. It was part of the game. She said it's part of the game. And
right.
Tony said, "Look, us,
Yeah, she
look."
spoke out about going against the White House too. She said
Mm-hmm.
we're not,
Yeah.
she did.
Yeah.
So I
We
expect her to
didn't
say,
win. Why am I going? We didn't
why
win.
we don't,
Yeah. And Tony said, all politics aside, you should never turn down an invite from the White House out of respect to your country. That's just me. I'm weird like that. I get it, Tony. Um, yeah,
I
if
get
you're
it, but
invited as a team, I get it too. But I'm gonna tell you, if if I wasn't, say, like there was during the Trump years, some certain athletes didn't go. Certain teams as a team didn't go. Yes, I believe as a team, as a team you should go, but give your players the flexibility or the allowance not to be there if they had something politically leaning with that person. I get what you're saying, Tony, and I completely agree. If you're invited to the White House by no matter who's there, you should go because it's still kind of an honor. You know what I
I
mean?
don't know. It used to me, it used to be honor. But
Mhm.
like I get what Angel was saying, like because it
Uh-huh.
does look a certain way, like you
Mhm.
felt bad for these white girls that got their ass beat,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
and that's what I feel like,
Mhm.
you know, uh,
Mhm.
Jill was trying to do.
Yes.
So, but you don't get a participation. You don't get invited to the White House, because she's trying to make it all well in the spirit of womanhood. No, bitch, we not making it in the spirit of womanhood. They lost, we won, and we should have got the invite. You shouldn't have said nothing like that. And I get where all the smoke was coming from.
Uh-huh.
But to me, I see where Tony going, but to me, an invitation to the White House ain't what it used to
Mhm.
be. And
Yeah.
so but I just believe that Angel realized maybe she spoke out of turn when
Mhm.
she said LSU is not a like a SWAC, or is
Mhm.
uh, primarily black, play for a black, primarily black school, or primarily um, black team, or what have you. They are
Mhm.
a NCAA team,
Mhm.
and you can't just say
Mhm.
that you don't speak for the whole team, you know.
Exactly.
And while I get why she
Mhm.
was upset about it and why she said that,
Mhm.
I'm glad that she did make the decision to, you know, well, the school said they were going to accept
That
after she said
she's
that.
gonna go.
And
She
she's gonna
was.
go. Yeah, she's gonna go.
Yeah.
Like she's 19. She's a kid. She's gonna say,
Yeah. She
stuff
was just.
that.
Yeah. She was just more upset that at the time that told her that that's what Jill Biden said, and she was speaking to that question. You know what I mean? She said she would turn down the invitation if that was the case. But like Tony said, I believe if she had invited both of the teams, they probably both would have. They probably both teams would have went just out of just for what it is. Um, but yeah, it could change, and maybe it will, maybe it's not. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Um,
that's weird to me. But
yeah, it's
like,
weird. It's
you
very
shouldn't have
weird.
something like that's never happened before. You
Hmm.
shouldn't do that. So I very much understand Angel's response,
Hmm.
but I respect her for being a team player, and
Uh,
saying that, because I mean, even though the school can go, she might still have the option to not go. You know,
exactly.
um,
Exactly.
and I don't think that she would be wrong for that.
Mhm.
So.
All right. Now, we also got some drama, in the ongoing saga this week, y'all.
Out of my alley.
What do you have for us this week with the Escape versus SWV drama?
So what had happened was, no, I'm kidding. Um, so I've been keeping up with Escape and SWV drama,
Mhm.
which I kind of touched on last week on the last podcast, where
Mhm.
there was some drama between the two groups. They're a
Mhm.
legacy act, they're older. They've each groups are respective in their own, they sing, they sing the same things, but I think SWV is having more commercial access,
Mhm.
commercial um success than Escape has. But Escape has been more in the limelight due to
Mhm.
Candy and Tiny,
Yeah.
having their own reality shows,
Mhm.
respectively. SWV has been kind of quiet with that, but they still tour. So they have a reality show that a lot of things have been getting exposed on. Specifically with Escape. Um,
Mhm.
there's been some internal things going on with them, with the sisters fighting the Latasha, who was considered the lead,
Mhm.
the sister named Tamika Scott, who's also in the group.
Mhm.
Um, there's been beef with Latasha's husband acting as a manager. They've been trying to push Latasha to be have a solo career. It's never
Mhm.
really worked out. But she keeps kind of just coming back and leaving the group, or using the group whenever she, um,
Yeah.
whenever.
Yeah.
But it seems to be these last couple of episodes, her
Hmm.
husband is really the one that's the issue.
Yeah.
It came out, Tamika came out with receipts saying that, there was some money royalties that were owed to her that her sister and her husband stole from her. We got
Hmm.
receipts on.
Yeah.
It further came out on the last couple of episodes that he had the group had gotten text messages saying that basically he got them a booking, and my there's I guess the way that they split the money is they split it all evenly, but he got some money for just like making a deal or what have you that nobody knew about. Apparently Latasha said she didn't know about it either, which I find hard to believe. um he says why the man is always to blame. Because, well, I mean, if you knew anything about Rocky, you would see why he would be to blame for a lot of the mess. It seems like whatever he tells Latasha, she believes.
Excuse. Yeah,
Um,
Tony. Yeah, Tony. The way it goes sometimes when it's a man, when it's a male group, it's always a woman, and when it's a female
the
group
woman,
or a
it's
woman's
always
group,
a man.
it's always the man. Um,
Remember, Yoko Ono broke up the Beatles. So, with this particular situation, it very much is Rocky. So he's had a side chick that he's been seeing for a minute. Now, mind you, Latasha and Rocky have been married for 30 years, damn near. So um, there's a lot coming out with him saying that the side chick has come out. She was pregnant, but I think she lost the baby, or she said she was pregnant, but a lot of receipts are coming out on him about that. So the general consensus is that the core issue is him.
uh-huh.
Um, just kind of doing things and trying to
Hmm.
push Latasha and trying to separate her from the group,
Yes.
which seems to happen in a lot of
Hmm.
groups. Like just groups
Hmm.
in general. Even back to Motown days, it was always somebody. The Jackson Five, it was always somebody getting in some Destiny shot. Somebody always pushing
Yeah.
the
Hmm. Oh,
you know
somebody
down
always
the
out
road
on
with the
the outside.
train.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody always that want to go solo, or
Hmm.
um, and it tends to like be a band breakup. But
Hmm.
um, I'm still watching the show, so I'm still gonna do my little tease
Hmm.
that. But right now, so far, it's not looking good for Latasha or Rocky. They both keep basically lying about a lot of the stuff that's been, and
Hmm.
all the old tea, or old
Hmm.
groups. It's tea to us because we have access to these people now that we didn't have back then.
Hmm.
So we're seeing this trend of a lot of older groups and things like that. We never knew what was happening or why they broke up or what happened. Now all of that
Yeah.
stuff is coming out now because of
Hmm.
social media, reality TV. People have
Uh-huh.
access to people now that we didn't have back then. So it's just interesting, and I like to keep up on it. But
Hmm. Yeah, and
and SWV and Escape won't be touring together, unfortunately, because they can't see eye to eye. They don't want to. So
yeah, and I hope they work it out. I haven't watched the show, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna work out to some sort of maybe happy ending. But it might go to a damn reunion show because I don't like reunion shows now. They're not really happy no more. It's just for more drama. Reunion shows. Some of these shows got 3-part reunion shows. Like,
for what? We don't need three, but it's for ratings.
yeah, it's for ratings. It is. Um, and for those of you potheads who out there, you want us to do like a reality TV show, meaning podcast, meaning like we talk about reality TV and different
A
things.
review.
You know, go ahead and hit us up so you can be a guest on the show. We can smoke it up and talk about reality TV. Most definitely hit us up. We'll have you on. It'll be a fun time. I'm sure it'll be a fun time.
Oh
Get,
yeah, I love tea. I love to get it tea.
yes. And while we're still on music, we're gonna move into this before we get to the munchies and everything like that.
Mhm.
Um, I, in all my infinite wisdom, just me.
Okay, it's you.
This weekend, Cameron, in all his
Lord.
glory, excuse me, said he won't be watching Creed 3. Um, because he saw a picture of Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors. And mind you, note that picture, y'all. I want y'all to note that picture, and then let's look at this, y'all. And let me pull it up here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna pull it up for you guys.
This this the nigga that had the pink suit on and the
Yeah.
pink
This
phone and the
picture
night.
right here. This is just one of the pictures, but this is the picture that he posted on his Instagram, as well as this picture right here. And to some of you incels, that might look like a problem. I see no problem in any of these pictures, not a one. And this is why Cameron said that he's not going to see the movie because he doesn't agree with this. And my thing, y'all, maybe he wasn't hugged as much as a child. You know what I mean? Maybe he wasn't hugged as much as a child. Maybe that type of thing bothers him. But to not see a movie because of that, some people say it's
Speaks
suspect.
more of his sexuality than it does theirs. So, yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, and that's right, Tony. He does sound like a homophobe. Because I didn't see nothing even homosexual about it. It was two men taking a picture. Now, just because it might not be up to Cameron's expectations, I can't even get the air quotes in expectation. Yeah, because I got the bad finger, so that just sits there like that. I forever give the Crip sign.
Right.
But yeah, it's an attention thing, bro. Your day is over. Come out with some new music or shut the fuck up.
It's stupid. It is so stupid.
I mean,
For,
let's be clear. After watching y'all on Versus, I think y'all need to get back in the studio because y'all took that in.
I need to figure something out because it's giving old, it's giving washed up, it's giving I don't have a career anymore.
Yes. That's what it's giving.
And it's giving. Well, like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you even like black men can't, these two masculine black men can't embrace each other and like say this is my brother and it's not, why would you even think of anything like that, even being remotely gay? And and even if it is, so what? Like he said this is my brother and I'm, like you can't be men can't be affectionate with each other, like or express themselves to each other without it being considered looked at a certain way. And I very much disagree with that narrative. And I think that's something as, like
I can't stand you, Tony. I can't stand you.
You say the boys, what's wrong with the bromance? Yeah, like you can have your bro that you cool with and you can, like dap up and like maybe cry to or something about things that maybe you don't want to,
exactly.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's very healthy. So I think men need that. I definitely think men need to do that.
And I'm sorry, y'all, I didn't take the SWV title down. I got the Cameron and Creed.
Oh yeah, we had to get
that's my thing, y'all.
That had all pink on, so I don't want to hear shit.
Yeah, I don't. And once again, we're making that judgment. But then again, if we go by your standards, you was wearing that pink thing. Why?
Once you explain when he did it, people were calling him gay because who wore all pink back then? He wore that back in the 90s.
And you double down because you wore it in concerts too, Cameron. So let's be clear. Your way of thinking means what happened? You changed your thoughts back then? But hey, let's move on. Let's move on. Definitely move on. Now you actually watched the Monique special. I didn't know that.
I did.
Fill me in on that.
Um, it was. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 blunts.
Yeah.
Um, it was very much. There were parts of it that was funny to me. Most of it, I feel like she was just getting a lot of things off of her chest that's been happening within these
Uh-huh.
past, I think 10 years has been going on where she had this beef with Oprah and Tyler Perry. And, um, you know, I, me personally, I never thought, I know she was a comedian of comedy,
Mm-hmm.
because they had Kings of Comedy, she's a queen of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but me personally, I never thought that she was like funny like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I just remember there were some parts that, the things that I've seen online, the reviews were saying that, it wasn't really funny. She cursed too much, this and this and that. Like, there was times where she was talking about her grandmother and she got
Mm-hmm.
emotional.
Uh-huh.
So I just think that a lot of people are likening it to or
Mm-hmm.
comparing it to Chris Rock's last special, where
Mm-hmm.
it just wasn't really,
Yeah.
like that funny. Um, but I think that for her, it wasn't bad to me. It wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible. She didn't bomb, and I
Mm-hmm.
did find myself laughing at some parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't have me like slap my leg
Yeah.
crying for tears laughing. It definitely
Exactly.
didn't do that. Some people
Mm-hmm.
might say it's a bit of a snooze fest. It just depends on your
Mm-hmm.
brand of comedy. Like, I think shit is funny that other people don't find funny. So,
Yeah. People should
like, it
stop.
just depends on your sense of humor.
Yeah. People should stop going into things with a bad attitude, looking for something wrong.
Yeah,
You
like,
know
what
what
do
I
you
mean?
well, I just want to hear, like, I feel like if you just like to laugh, because I love to laugh. I keep laugh a lot to keep from crying. So, like, things,
Mhm.
I try to find the humor in a lot of things. So I just
Yeah.
generally go with a good attitude.
Yeah. And I haven't watched it yet. Um, I haven't watched much of the Chris Rock one either, but I will when I get to sit down and get some good weed in me, and I can chill and watch it. I
Yeah,
just want to see it. I like comedy too. I like laughing too. Love laughing. Love
yeah.
comedy.
I'm
You know.
laughing. There were some funny parts where I was like, like some of it was really funny.
Uh
But
huh.
overall, it was more of a
It was
I would
mid.
it was mid. It wasn't great. It
Mhm.
was mid, but that's her first Netflix special,
Mhm.
so hopefully she
Yes.
gets
Yes.
more.
Yes.
And I wish her the best.
Now I actually sat down and watched Shazam, the sequel, Shazam:
Oh,
Fury of the Gods. It's
I
on
haven't seen
demand on
it yet.
any of the streamers and or on the Amazon stick. But hey, it's on demand.
Those who know.
Yeah, those if you know, you know.
If you know, you
It
know.
was. I gave it 3.5. I gave it 3.5 months, and the
Really?
reason being is that people went in with a lot of preconceived things about it, and I could see why. I could see there were parts of it I knew folks would not like. I didn't like them either, but I gave it 3.5 months because it is a cool. It was a cool, entertaining movie. It stayed in line with the first movie,
Mm-hmm.
um, and oh, we lost Candy. She'll be back. Um, it stayed in line with the first movie. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. wasn't like it wasn't like the best, but it definitely wasn't the worst. I pretty much loved the movie. I gave it 3.5 blunts. I watched it high. I'm gonna watch it sober to see if I still feel the same. But hey, it will be what it is. That is Shazam: Fury of the Gods. That is on demand on any of your streamers like Amazon, Hulu, wherever you see your on demand. And also you had you had you do have Monique. You have the Monique special,
I'm back.
the Monique special, which is also on Netflix. So you have Shazam, and then you have um, Monique. Now, what I tried this week, y'all, when we moved to Munchies, what is your favorite Munchies, y'all? Let us know in the comments what your favorite Munchies are. I had this week, I actually tasted the Carl's Jr.'s French toast dips. Right now, Carl's Jr. has like a 2 for $5 promotion. I got a cheeseburger and the French toast dips. I'm going to let you know, like right now, the burger was just a burger. That's why I'm not going to even review it. It was just a cheeseburger, pickles, same shit. Nothing. It was, yeah, it's just a quick thing. I wouldn't even eat it if I was high, but I needed to get something in my system to take some pills. But on the Munchies review, I think I gave it 3, but I think it might have been 4. I gave it a 4 because I love French toast sticks. I love fucking French toast sticks. My favorite thing. Sometimes when I'm eating breakfast, whenever I get something, if they got French toast sticks, I'm gonna get it.
It's convenient, you can just dip.
Now, one thing I like about a good French toast stick, because sometimes I eat them when I'm driving, is that they have to be good without syrup. And these were good, but they need syrup. They need the syrup, and the syrup that Carl's Jr. serves with it is not
watery as hell.
Yeah, and it's not really conducive to that. It messes up the whole flavor profile. Matter of fact, I'm gonna knock it down to 3.5 blunts now that I thought about it some more. Yeah, yes. Yeah, and Tony just said, and I'm gonna put that comment up, y'all. Tony was talking about, and there's like a 40-second delay, y'all, so please forgive us. Tony was saying, thinking of some munchies, making some munchie videos for your show, try new shit. The question is, which of you is down to actually try them? As long as there's not pork in it, Tony, I'm there.
I'm okay to try new stuff. Like I know I kind of stick to what I know. So I'll also probably be a little bit more open and trying new stuff than I would, but I'll try anything.
Yeah, now my thing now, y'all, is Thai food. I had some Thai last week. And I went out and I spent $108 the other day from eating Thai
I love
food.
Thai. That's like one of my favorite Thai restaurants. They green curry and that short rib fried rice and them crab rangoons.
Yeah, the short rib fried rice I'm gonna get next time. This time I still got the yellow curry with beef, but I did try the waterfall beef. Oh Lord, I love that shit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna definitely. Yeah, we definitely gonna have to do a video on that. Now you went to the Blue Kitchen Noodle Bar, and y'all noodle houses are coming up. I really hate the fact that they're not like the old ramen houses in California, where for $5 you can get you a nice big ass bowl of noodles. Now we paying $20-$30 for some fucking noodles nowadays, y'all. But don't let me mess up your review, girl. You went to the Blue Kitchen Noodle Bar.
So y'all know it's my boo Keisha's birthday last week on the 2nd. And another one of our friends, I have a group of lady friends that we like to do brunch or something every, just meet up and do brunch or go out to eat and do bingo or something like that. Some old lady auntie shit. So it was basically her wanting to take, my friend out to, as a birthday gift or belated birthday gift. So we all decided to meet there. It's on Cheyenne and Buffalo. I believe it's Black owned. Everybody was that was the hostess. It was one little girl. It's like in a storefront, but the little girl, she was running the whole place by herself. She was doing an awesome job. I hate I didn't get her name, but it was just her in there, and she was hitting all them tables up. We all tried a bunch of different things. We tried their shrimp. There are bao buns. I think I had. They had
Mm-hmm.
spicy wings. Everything was pretty much good. The only thing I didn't like was the salmon bites. They were fried
Mm-hmm.
salmon bites, and you need like tartar sauce or something with that because they were
Okay.
just bland.
Mm-hmm.
But everything is very flavorful. The only thing is sometimes they use a lot of sauce with everything. So if you're
Yeah.
not like a sauce person,
Mm-hmm.
which my friend Renee isn't, so like everything just had sauce on it. So it kind of took away the flavor, or it was just too much.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's too much.
Yeah, I normally ask for the sauce on the side.
Yeah,
Sometimes the taste of the sauce might throw off the whole dish. You know what I mean? So I always
yeah.
sort of ask for my sauce on the side the first time around until I know it. Then I say, okay, you can put the sauce in there now. I get it.
Right.
Um,
But they did everything in a panko fry. Everything was really good. Like
mhm,
the shrimp that they had, they give you an appetizer of shrimp
mhm.
when you sit down. Um,
Oh,
it
like
is
when they give you bread.
like sauce,
They-
yeah, like chips or something. So that all top sold me. Oh, because we was hungry anyway. We was waiting for another girlfriend. So
yeah.
ate that on up. That was good. So we ordered more
Uh-huh.
of that.
Mhm,
There was only one thing that we couldn't order was the fried rice balls,
mhm,
fried chicken rice balls, which we were kind of
mhm,
disappointed about. But
mhm,
everything was pretty good. I definitely recommend it. I gave it a 4 out of 5, and then the vibe
mhm.
is pretty cool. The only thing that I didn't like is they don't serve liquor.
Okay.
Um, so and they're only open from 2 to like 10 o'clock,
Okay. So they're
2 p.m.
open dinner time. They're open for dinner.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
open for dinner. They're not a brunch spot. They're not
Mhm.
a but
Okay.
because it's mostly they playlist was on point.
Mhm,
Everybody in the restaurant was singing. Because we gonna sing. So it would
mhm,
be kind of cool if they did like a karaoke thing,
mhm.
and a drink. I think that would just take it all the way up. But everything was really good. I enjoyed
All
it.
right.
We would definitely go back. And then they have a sister location that they're opening up on Flamingo.
Okay.
So
I
that's
definitely,
more of a
I am
brunch
definitely
spot.
check them out. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
definitely check them out. With the weather getting better, y'all, I'm gonna get out. Y'all gonna see a lot more food videos, a lot more food reviews.
Hmm.
Um, and we're gonna do a munchie show too, where we do all munchies.
Yeah.
So if
With it, yeah.
exotic Boulevard Snacks is out there listening, send us a box. Send us a
Please
box.
send us a pot.
Go
We'll eat
ahead,
it.
send us that box. You can just hit me up. There's my email address right there. Funky Monk at the Age of Potheads, y'all.
Send the
Just let me
box.
know. Just let me know. Just send the box. What's in the box?
The box.
Now,
Yeah.
before we get out of here, our strain of the week, y'all, is Acapulco Gold, another legendary strain. They say it's a hybrid, but definitely it's sativa leaning, y'all. It's definitely sativa leaning. It originated in Acapulco, Mexico, in the 60s and 70s. Now, for those
Mm.
who don't know what Acapulco is, you got to ask your granny. That was the Cancun of the 60s and 70s, y'all.
Mhm.
That was the Cabo of the 60s and
Like a
70s.
Tijuana or something like
Yeah, that's
that.
where people went. When you watched Wheel of Fortune and all those shows in the 80s, that's where they always went. You went to Acapulco, Mexico. I don't know the big deal about it. I figured it was like a Cancun or a Cabo of this of some folks, but I think there's a new Mexican destination folks are going to. I think it's Tulum, something
Tulum,
like
yeah,
that.
Tulum.
Tulum?
Everybody's been going to Tulum.
Yeah,
Everybody pretty much been going to. My mom and used to go
yeah,
to Tijuana and Ensenada a lot when I was a
yeah,
kid.
yeah.
But yeah,
Ensenada. I'm gonna tell you, you take a cruise to Ensenada, y'all basic as fuck. Don't go to Ensenada no more. Don't go to Catalina.
don't go to
Get
Tijuana. Everybody
it. Don't go to Tijuana.
It's pickpockets waiting on y'all when y'all get
Yeah, go in Mexico.
there. Go deep.
Go deep in the stab in Mexico. But that's our strain of the week, Acapulco Gold. You might have issues finding it, but when you do, just grab it just for nostalgic reasons, even though you might
Nostalgia.
not. Yeah, just grab it for nostalgia. Now, y'all, Tony, before we get out of here, Tony said, hope one day his son in Hawaii visits so he can cook for us on the show. Definitely,
Ooh,
man. If he
yeah,
comes in, we will do it.
love
Um,
them.
I'm with that. I am with that, y'all. Now, before we get out of here, y'all, as we always do, if you are going through a crisis, y'all, if you are going through some shit and you need help, make sure you call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis line.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I want to talk with you, not about you. Definitely, I need y'all need to get that help. Get that help. And we do
Please.
want to thank you for watching and smoking with us today. We talked about a lot of shit. You want to hit us up? I am Funky Monk, and that's Miss Candy. You can hit me at funkymonk at theagingpotheads.com. You can hit up Miss Candy at theagingpotheads.com. For more information about the show, you have any questions, ideas, send it to info at theagingpotheads.com. You can hit us up on all social media platforms at the Aging Potheads. So most definitely, y'all, we do thank you for stopping by with us and spending this time with us this week. I seen a lot of folks in there tonight. Y'all didn't say much in the chat, but I appreciate you watching, including the haters, because haters are our greatest fans too. We are here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We are the Aging Potheads. I am Big Brother Boss. This is the beautiful Miss Candy, y'all, with an X. I keep forgetting that part. I should say the whole thing, like a Tribe
Well,
Called
it
Quest.
could be anything, but yeah, it's still candy.
Yeah,
So, but yeah,
exactly, y'all. And like we always say, meditate, medicate. And until next week, my friends, stay lifted. Good night.
good night, guys. Thank you.